I was bombing an audition, clinging to the hope that I could rebuild my acting career after my mom died. The next, some lottery ticket I didn't even buy scanned my thumb, lit up like Christmas, and announced to the whole city that I was now worth $3.6 billion. I quickly put it away and tried to act, however, I didn't get the role. In the corridor, the other actresses tried to be supportive. Suddenly all their lottery tickets activated, announcing that I had won and even showing my face. The actresses immediately changed their attitude and attacked me with any object they could reach, although some of them had knives ready. Even the workers joined the fight, and dodged a flying shoe before taking the stairs, not understanding what was going on. On the next floor, I managed to hide in a room while the actresses ran off. However, I had entered a self-defense class, and these people were ready to kill me too. They kept calling me my jackpot, as they attacked and I ran around dodging their moves or causing them to hit each other. While some of the people were fighting each other, I was punched and grabbed by my ankles. The guy whirled me around and threw me through a wall, making me land in a yoga class with more people ready to kill. The self-defense guys crossed over too, and chaos took over the room. When a man grabbed me by the neck, Noel suddenly burst through the ceiling and saved me by throwing the guy at the wall. Then Noel announced I got 5 free saves, but afterward his protection cost 10% of the prize. I had no choice but to sign his contract. Now he started fighting people for real, even using me as a weapon to kick them off. He also tied me to his back to keep me safe and used a belt as a whip to attack from afar. Once all the opponents were down, I freed myself and took Noel's paralysis dart gun. After easily taking it back, Noel made sure to put the unconscious bodies in the right position so they wouldn't choke on their tongues. He explained that the lottery drone, which was already outside, posted the winner's location every 14 minutes, so we had to get going. The people at the food truck threw a knife at me, and Noel helped me dodge it before we got in his car to escape. As we drove through town, people nearby received an alert of my location and prepared to join the fight. The ice cream truck abandoned the kids. Back to Noel, he finished explaining to me how the lottery worked. He explained that if someone killed me before sundown, they got the money. And judging by the knives, bolt guns, literally everyone wanted to be rich today was surprised I didn't know. Soon the car was being chased by people on bikes and ATVs, so Noel brought out helmets for both of us before speeding up. A Molotov bomb was thrown on top of the car, and the roof caught on fire, but Noel kept on driving and entered an old warehouse as the wind put the flames off. Suddenly he turned the car around and a biker crashed against it, but then he had to keep driving through the warehouse to avoid the other bikers who started a new fire. I wanted to quit the game, but the only way to do so was to leave the city. Noel shot a guy with his dart to bring him down, then he drove in circles as more enemies threw various objects at us. This created a lot of dust that allowed the duo to escape by pushing the car out without making noise, and the bikers didn't notice until the next Molotov fell on the ground. I kept insisting I wanted to quit, so Noel agreed to take me to the closest quit line. At that moment the bikers found us and the chase started again. An enemy jumped into the car through the back window, and I stole her knife while Noel got his darts out. However, the woman bit his arm. Noel got the mirror and hit her with it before asking me to drive, ignoring my saying I couldn't. Then Noel moved onto the back seat to continue the fight, putting an extra helmet on his opponent before kicking her out of the car. The bikers threw another Molotov at us, and Noel forced me to drive through a wall to escape. We stopped a car and a biker crashed while trying to dodge it while I knocked out the other one with my helmet. The duo tried to leave, however the car barely moved before it broke down because of all the damage. I came out and tried running away, however Noel stopped me. He explained he got no money if I quit but still wanted to help me because we had to treat people the way we wanted to be treated. Suddenly I threw sand at his face and managed to punch him, so Noel had to crack his nose back into place. At that moment a police car appeared and I went to the cops for help, however the officers wanted to kill me too. Noel caught their taser just in time and started fighting them while I ran away. On the street, I hid my face behind a map while the crowd noticed the drone nearby and started searching for me. I went into the wax museum and was surprised to hear the guard was anti-lottery, so he let me hide among the statues. Then I called Shadi and requested to borrow her car. Shadi kept asking me where I was, causing me to realize Shadi was playing too. At that moment, a statue welcomed me to the museum, giving away my location. Afterwards, Shadi and DJ tried to enter the museum, but the guard reminded them they were banned because they did the dirty with a statue. Shadi punched him to knock him out, and the couple rushed inside. I heard them and hid behind a statue, however, when I tried to sneak out I was seen. DJ immediately pushed me on top of a desk, and I threw a bottle at Shadi's head before tossing sand at DJ's face to get him off me. Then the couple teamed up to fight me, who defended myself with a statue's staff. When there was an opening, I tried to run and Shadi kicked me back, causing me to lose the staff. In the next room, Shadi and DJ started beating me up with the halves of the staff. I retaliated by throwing statues at them, thinking it was Cher when it was actually the Kardashians. The fight continued in the horror room, where they grabbed any prop available to attack. After lots of struggle with movie costumes and weapons, I ran out as Shadi threw an axe at me. The weapon did hit, but it was fake, so it did nothing. I pressed a button to bring down the shutter, only to remember what Noel taught me. I fixed the guard's body so he wouldn't choke, then I rolled out of the museum right before the shutter closed, leaving Shadi and DJ trapped inside. A tour bus guide immediately saw me and announced my location on the microphone. Before attackers could reach me, Noel appeared in a police car and took me away. I still didn't trust him because helping me quit meant not getting paid. So I thought he would kill me in private. As the tour bus kept hitting the back of the car, Noel wished we had a bunker, and I remembered the taxi driver. Soon the Jew showed up at Machine Gun Kelly's house, who thought I wanted something dirty when I asked for help. At that moment the bus appeared, so I got Noel's dart gun and forced him to open his panic room. Noel and I rushed inside and put Kelly to sleep with a dart before trying to close the door. A crowd gathered in the living room and an arm tried keeping the door open, so Noel got ready to shoot it. Thinking he wanted to shoot me, I took the gun and shot a dart at the arm, forcing it to retreat and finally closing the door for good. The room was fully equipped, and the duo could watch the crowd on the security camera. Outside, the crowd continued to hit the door to no avail. Shadi slapped Kelly to wake him up, but nothing happened, so instead he dragged him into the pool and threatened him into sharing the door password, which was the meme 6969. All this was seen by me and Noel, who got angry because he had no choice but to make a call and ask for a favor, and rushed to put my phone inside a safe. Then the duo held the door as Shadi used the password. However, the crowd froze when they heard all their phones ringing with an amber alert. However, this was a trap and their phones started exploding, burning a variety of body parts. As everyone dealt with their burns, Noel and I came out to escape, although Noel stopped to put off the flames on someone's groin. Outside, a bunch of guards were waiting with damage-proof cars and rubber bullet guns. They only wanted to take me, but I forced them to bring Noel as well. During the ride, I asked if Noel worked with these people. He explained he used to, but nowadays he was a freelancer. Moments later, we made it to headquarters and I met Lewis, learning this was his security company. I wasn't impressed by him because he kept mocking Noel and asked to be taken out of the city. However, Lewis gifted me a new phone and pointed out I was in the safest building in the country. He also showed off the grenades in his pocket. With only 4 game hours left, Lewis gave us a tour and showed us the wall with all the winners they saved, although the names were anonymous, and they had lacked clients for a while. Lewis explained they charged 30%, and I signed the contract after getting a part of that money for Noel. Afterward, we saw on the security cameras that a crowd was gathering outside, so Lewis decided it would be safer to move me to a hidden underground fortress by using decoy vehicles. First, the duo got medical care for our wounds and Noel shared more about himself. He used to be a mercenary in the private sector with Lewis, and their unit got sent all around the world to kill horrible people. One day Noel discovered his victims weren't always bad guys and he quit in the middle of a job. This caused the mission to fail, and only he and Lewis survived. Nowadays, the money he made went to the families of his victims and teammates. In return, I shared that my dad used to be my manager and made me work all day long since I was 8. When I turned 18, I told him I wanted to manage my own money, so he disappeared with it. I had to take care of my sick mother who died a month ago and left me with only $600 and a bus ticket to LA at that moment. An employee brought a prosthetics machine. I put my face inside, and the machine applied a mask that made me look like an old man. However, Noel was worried because moving me out didn't make sense, and this facility was too expensive to be maintained with only 30% of the old prizes, especially if they didn't have any clients lately. After I changed clothes to finish the disguise, Noel finally realized Lewis was only pretending to protect the winners to kill them in secret. Lewis took us to a car, and I kept requesting for Noel to come along, which Lewis turned down. Getting desperate, I kicked Lewis in the groin and Noel used the distraction to open the garage door. Then he shot all the guards with his darts as the crowd rushed in, but they didn't recognize me and ignored me. Noel dragged me out and gave me the keycard he stole from a guard, telling me to run while he bought some time. More guards appeared and held Noel down while Lewis kicked him for information. Suddenly all the AI-driven decoy cars took off with me hiding in one of them, so Lewis sent his people to follow them. Downtown, I got my mask off and took control of the car, so the change of route alerted Lewis' system. Meanwhile, social media was going wild because the drone had lost me, so if I didn't make any mistakes I would be safe from pursuers until the end. This caused me to gain fans that saw me as a hero. Moments later, I was about to leave town but got a call from Noel, who told me to turn around or he would kill Noel. In fact, he kept stabbing him, yet Noel told me to save myself. After some hesitation, I turned the car around and agreed to meet. Meanwhile, Lewis took Noel to an old theatre and revealed that during their mercenary days, he always knew they were killing civilians. He never cared because it was easy money. Lewis admitted he didn't like to share, and that's why he killed their team while making it look like it was Noel's fault. With only 15 minutes left, I got a bolt gun from the glove compartment and rushed inside the theatre, finding Lewis and Noel on the stage. I threatened to self-delete so nobody would get the money, and Lewis didn't believe me, so I pointed out he would kill me anyway. I also showed him I was recording this for social media, that way he couldn't clean the fingerprints off the gun and say he did it. I started ranting about the awful state of my life and almost pushed the trigger. However, Lewis finally dropped the handcuff keys and asked for a deal. I pretended I was about to give him the gun but kicked him off the stage instead, confirming I had been acting. With Lewis out, the other players immediately started coming after me again. All the people I had met today appeared at the theatre and blocked every entrance, so I used whatever objects I could grab to slow them down. Suddenly, Lewis grabbed my leg and made me fall before trying to kill me. A cop tried to help, however Lewis kicked him off and continued to struggle against me. At that moment a crowd burst in, so Noel started fighting them while still cuffed to the chair and singing the Ninja Turtles song. The chair soon broke, giving him more freedom of movement. I bit Lewis and disarmed him before throwing the keys at Noel, who finally freed himself. While Noel fought Lewis, Shadi appeared with a katana to fight me, who quickly disarmed her and knocked her out with a headbutt. With only 4 minutes left, a huge crowd suddenly entered the theatre. Noel was still fighting Lewis, so I had to climb the stage decorations for safety. Lewis stole an axe from another player and Noel defended himself with cymbals, which helped him finally defeat his former friend. The bus lady tried to climb after me, so I kicked her off. Then Noel started breaking the decorations so people couldn't follow me. Lewis, men arrived and half of them made a human stair for Lewis to climb while the others tackled Noel. Lewis reached me on the scaffolding and we started fighting until I slipped. I hung on the edge and revealed I used my keychain to activate one of his grenades, which then exploded. Lewis died and I fell, however my fans appeared with a big flag and caught me just in time. As the countdown reached 0, I hugged Noel and promised to pay him 50%. The lottery people came to give me the check, and I announced I didn't want to be an actress anymore. 6 months later, Noel and I were working together on a bunch of charities like a free protection agency, a school of self-defense and stage fighting, a center for kids with bad parents.